Hello everybody, it's Miss Potter here. Welcome back to another speed build today. So I did get the City Living expansion, so now I have the San Myshuno neighborhood, which I can build in, which is really cool. It's an awesome kind of creative districts in there, some real kind of personality and culture, which is really awesome. I really like the mural painting stuff, especially, and the street performers. Really cool. I can't wait to explore the neighborhood further, but I thought I would dive in and do an apartment build because apartments is something that I haven't ever encountered in The Sims. Since I haven't played since Sims 2, there just wasn't really a thing. So this is a really neat kind of experience. And I did decide that I would leave I think you can move the windows, but I thought I would leave them as they are and kind of be a bit more realistic about the situation, because you wouldn't really move into an apartment and move the windows around. So I thought I would just leave them and get in kind of a pretty contemporary apartment. So I did ask on Twitter what type of apartment everyone wanted me to build. And it was kind of between a Bachelorette or a Bachelor pad, and Bachelorette won by 100%. No one wanted to see a Bachelor apartment, so that is what I have done. And it's kind of like a cross between a Bachelor apartment and kind of a contemporary apartment that I would make if I was making it, like an apartment for me as a kind of designery person. So it's sort of almost like a little bit of a New Yorkie style, modern. I kept the brick in there because I thought that was cool, to have the exposed brick on the walls, and then kept everything else pretty modern. So I imagined that all the furnishings would be really contemporary and maybe quite plain, but that the Bachelorette who lives here, she's a bit worldly, and she's had a lot of experience and maybe done a bit of traveling, and she's kind of got a lot of knickknacks and things that she has in the apartment to give it the personality. So the base kind of design of the apartment's really neutral, I guess, and then the knickknacks are what gives it the personality. And I did have some more trouble with OBS, and with the game actually. The game crashed as I was building out the kitchen dining area, and so I lost my progress in the game, but also I'm pretty sure it caused OBS to crash and I lost part of the recording. So I am missing some bits and pieces in this recording as well, although I did do better overall, so I'll get there eventually. So this part over here is one of my favourite parts of the apartment. I had to put those two paintings in, by the way, on the left, because one of them is called something like The Cake is a Lie, and I thought that was a really cool Portal reference, so I had to have those paintings and I thought they were very cool. But this wall that you can see me kind of creating over here came from my idea that this middle space of the house here would be an office kind of area, or like, you know, as close as you can get to my kind of office, so basically a space to film videos and do cool stuff. And so I'm going to put the desk on the opposite wall, and this wall that I'm creating is kind of like an awesome gallery style backdrop that would be behind me in my videos, which is made up of some cool kind of graphic posters which I like from the collections, and also some kind of like stuff that I thought maybe I'd have picked up on my travels, like that long thin Japanese style poster and some of the game style posters and things. Like I thought maybe I'd got those at conferences and brought them back into the apartment and created this cool mixed matched wall of all the bits and pieces. And so I really like this concept. I'm not sure if I nailed the layout with it. I think it probably could have been better. I was pretty much just going through and finding all the things that I liked, and because there was so many new things that came with City Living, I was really excited. It took me a while to kind of go through and pick all the pieces that I wanted, but I think it turned out looking pretty cool, and it's definitely like a mix of all the things that I like the most, so it's nice. And then over here I thought I would make an entranceway over here by the door, just because there's not really anything else to do with that space. When I was scaling up the neon lights, it was weird. They scaled up, but only the black part behind the light would scale up. I couldn't get the actual light design part to scale up, and it was really weird. If anyone knows with the scale up and down cheat, if that's a bug or if I was doing something wrong, I just don't know. Cool, so starting on the little bedroom. So I also lost the bit where I actually did the build mode part of this end of the house. So I did decide that I'd put 2 bedrooms in. One of them would be the master bedroom and one would be a guest bedroom. And I got a bit excited about the 4-poster bed that came with City Living because I really love it. So I'm not really sure if it 100% matches the style of this apartment, but it's definitely something that I would go for if it was my apartment. So it made it. It made the cut. And this cool little wardrobe. Is that a word? Wardrobe? I don't know if that's a word, but I thought it would be cool to have a wardrobe, although I wasn't really sure about it on the bricks, and so I think I did move that and put some more storage in terms of an actual wardrobe as well. And I fell in love with this starlight. It's so cool. Makes you feel like a Hollywood star. But it didn't really work above the master bed, so I moved it into the guest bedroom. And it doesn't really work there either, but I imagined that the guest bedroom would kind of be like, you know, that room in your house where you just put everything that you don't really have space for in the rest of the house. That's kind of what I imagine this guest bedroom's like. So everything that didn't really work in the master bedroom just kind of got put in the spare bedroom. So it's quite realistic. And because I wasn't moving the windows, I kind of had a hard time finding curtains that would actually work, and I ended up with just these little tiny kind of curtains over the corners of each of the windows, really just because I liked the way that they looked, not because they would actually provide any functional benefit as curtains, because they're clearly way too small. I really loved these stacked suitcases as well. I thought they were really cool. And that room started looking a lot like some kind of Hollywood stars room, but weirdly not really intentionally. And so I think I actually do switch out the bright pink orange suitcase combo for a little bit, something a little bit more realistic shortly, so it's okay. And I did think about putting in sort of matching bedside tables, but I like the way it looks when they're mixed up and they're not quite the same, because it kind of looks like you've collected pieces of furniture over time and you've just kind of put them in rather than go to the store and buy a set of bedroom furniture all at once, which would be what it would look like if it was matching, I think. So just getting in some bits and pieces in the bedroom now just to make it look lived in. I'm a really huge fan of putting in knickknacks and lots of things around Sims builds, because I just think it makes it look a little bit more lived in, a little bit more authentic. So I do spend quite a while looking for things that I think that the Sim would actually have or use or, buy and put in their house, just because that's the fun of the game, I feel. I'm super into the big 3-panel mirrors. I think that's really cool in that room there. Probably be freaky if you actually had a mirror at the end of the bed like that and you wake up and sit up in bed and you're like, oh, that's what I look like in the morning. But it looks really nice from an interior design perspective. And so again, I really wanted to make this the room that all of this stuff kind of ends up in, that you don't have room for anywhere else. And so there's like a pile of hard drives on the floor and some candles and then like a random piece of furniture that you have no room for in the rest of the house, and your tray of art paints that you haven't used in 8 years, and just, all of the junk, including the laundry basket full of laundry that was probably done a week ago, but you haven't put away yet. And then on the floor, pile of laundry. Doesn't get much more realistic than that. This is definitely what my bedroom looks like. Just finishing it off with some decorative touches, and I actually go for the same plant that I put in the other room, which is usually something I don't do. Like, I feel like you don't go to the plant store and buy 2 of the same plant and then put 1 in each room. Like, that's not something that you would do. And I don't really like symmetry in The Sims too much, just because I feel like symmetry makes things look a bit fake, or it can do anyway, depending on the kind of build that you're going for. And so I wouldn't normally do that, but I actually think it worked really well in this case. That plant in particular looked really good in those rooms, so I just ran with it. And I decided to use a little bookshelf in that corner just to fill up the space, which I think looks really neat. And that's the finished bedrooms. Onto the bathroom. I was actually trying to finish up this build really quickly before I went out to dinner, and I was just trying to get the bathrooms done really fast, and I had this vision that I really wanted to have the bath there where I've put it in the corner by the window, but I couldn't really find any other way to make the shower work around it, and so I ended up having to put the bath over in the other corner, which I still think is probably just as good, to be honest. You'd still be able to sit in there and kind of look out over the neighbourhood. It looks pretty nice. A bit weird being on the toilet and looking straight out those giant windows, but Sims don't seem to find that stuff weird. So they're cool. They're totally cool with everything, and they're just minding their own business, clearly. And I really like the colours of this bathroom. I know it's super monochrome, but like I said, I really wanted the interior of this apartment to be pretty neutral, and then all of the furnishings are what give it its life or its personality. So that big piece of art and the two mirrors, I think it's pretty neat. Quite like that. Finishing it off with a little bath mat and a plant. I think I find a plant. Yeah. I'm not really sure about that plant actually, now looking back at it, but I was pretty excited to go out to dinner, and so I just copied across all of the things from that bathroom into the other bathroom, which is realistically probably what you would do. Like, why would you pick a whole new different shower and a whole new different toilet for that bathroom when you've just picked things that you know suit the house? So I thought that was pretty realistic. Thrown in some lights. And we're done. That is the finished floor plan of my first ever apartment build. So I do a little tour through so you can see kind of on a level what the other knickknacks I put in, because some of the furnishing parts are missing from the speed build, unfortunately. I am going to get the hang of this, you guys, I promise. But a bit of a closer look at that middle area, which is actually my favourite area of the house, I think. The little study area. And the bathrooms, the bedrooms, and onto the screenshots. So here is the finished product. I really like the way you can get cool screenshots in the San Myshuno. That's really neat. You can see the kind of other apartments in the background. I think it's really awesome. I can imagine entertaining in this house would be really fun with that big central open dining space. I love that light over the fireplace. That's probably my favourite thing. Favourite feature of that little area there. And the big mural to be painted on, because that sounds fun. Who doesn't want a giant canvas in their dining room? Yes, please. There we go, a little bit closer to the office. Oh, I actually think that washing basket might not quite be sitting on the bed there. I think that's floating a little bit. Whoops. And the bedrooms, which were kind of hard to get a good photograph of because they were really small. I need to get better at that, but that is pretty much everything. So thank you so much for watching this speed build. Let me know if you liked it with a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.